Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks, bringing you your daily NVIDIA report for Friday, April 25th, 2025. Take a look at the charts, the weekly chart. We still got the 111.09 channel bottom that we settled below a month ago. Now, a couple of weeks ago, we closed back above it at the end of a week, but by a very narrow margin, only to come tumbling back the following week. It remains a meaningful resistance, 111.09. I've got 111.2 here because that is the same formation, but on the daily chart. And it does really come down. I'll go to the daily chart here actually right now and show the 111.02 representation here. But we also have a descending 3-month channel top at 115.25 that correlates well with the high of that weekly low. So this entire zone is sellable resistance. I'm not convinced of seeing the upper 120s unless we can close above 115.25. The nice thing about this is it's narrowing ever so gradually. 111.02 rising a bit, 115.25 dropping. They all come together here over the next week and a half. And so it becomes a little easier as we move through time. It is your ceiling of resistance that may well contain buying through the month of May. And once again, below which, anticipating the lower 80s as a longer-term target, anticipating this 80.19 to 81.97 region as a 3 to 5 week, I don't know, that seems more like a couple of months now, but that can all change rapidly. Holding below the 111.02 to 115.25 area will keep the low 80s in reach. Now, if we were to close today, and I think it's highly unlikely, but if over the next week, let's say, we close above this 115.25 channel top, then we have a 1 to 2 week buy signal into the upper 120s. And it really is the descending 2/3 speed line that we find, on the weekly chart as well at 127.50 that I think is our go with buy signal into later year. I could see the possibility of pushing through the 110s, testing 127.50 within a week or two, and then possibly falling away again. I don't think we're out of the woods as far as NVIDIA is concerned. And if you're looking for a protracted rally, continued strength as we move into the third quarter, unless we close above 127.50. But I will say this, and it's not going to happen today, but if we did close above this 115.10 area at the end of a week, but we didn't close above 127.50, I think you can begin scaling into a longer-term long position. Certainly you want to exit any short position you have at that time, but I think you could begin scaling into developing a long-term position, a long-term long, that you're actually buying the market. Then, of course, you're all in with a settlement above 127.50, then anticipating within a matter of 2 to 3 to 5 months, the upper 160s and climbing. So you're selling 111.09. I'm talking over the next month or two, anticipating the lower 80s, and you're buying a settlement above 127.50, expecting new highs and upward continuation into the upper 160s within a matter of 2 to 3 to 5 months. That is the big picture. Once again, that same formation on the daily chart is 111.02. Before I jump into the day, I just want to mention that on Thursday, wickedstocks.com put out a stock pick on Broadcom. You might want to check that out. It's right on the edge of a significant buy signal. This is a stock that moves fast and furious when it gets moving. Also, early in the week, we put out another stock pick on Robinhood Markets. That one is actually kind of in the underplay right now on an intra-week basis anyway. You could check that out. We give highly specific price points that, if violated, represent a buy opportunity as we move not only through the month of May over the 3 to 5 week time frame, but into the third quarter over the 3 to 5 month time horizon, always looking for at least a 20% move on the underlying stock picks. We actually think it's realistic to see a 20% return. You also get daily Triple Q, daily SPY analysis, weekly Apple stock analysis, etc., all for free for 5 days by checking out wickedstocks.com. Back to the analysis. We do to the downside today. We're going with the high of that low from that was a Monday of this week, 99.44. Now, yes, you've got the descending channel bottom at 100.31. It's also part of that area. This is a solid zone, able to contain daily selling pressures, possibly into later week, and above which we do have like a Fibonacci level at 107.44. That is a 5/8 Fibonacci from that 115.10 high against the low that was put out Monday of this week. 107.44 likely to contain intraday highs. This is solid day trade material for aggressive day traders. Pushing or opening today above 107.44 should yield 111.02. And that is, once again, the beginning of a zone of resistance up to 115.25 that can contain buying through May. And from here, we can fall away again into the lower 80s within a month or two of doing so. Downside, I want to mention that if we did close today below 99.44, that is a reversal. So we've mentioned how the 3 to 5 day swing trade has been bullish since Wednesday's close above the 100.31 formation. That reverses to the downside again. A settlement today below 99.44 signals 90.69 within 3 to 5 days, where we could also place a daily low. It would be a settlement below 90.69 that would likely yield this targeted longer-term support at 80.19 within another full week or so of activity. 80.19, a solid 2-year channel bottom, able to contain selling through the rest of the year. You can make a very strong case that NVIDIA remains in a 2-year bull market off that October 22 low, holding above 80.19. And so I guess that's it. Please click like, share, subscribe. Check out wickedstocks.com. I'll be back Sunday afternoon with Monday's NVIDIA report. You have a great weekend.